Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, the long-awaited interview with Kamala Harris was aired tonight, and I was like a lot of other people. I was going all over the place. I was on Frank's program there on NPC, trying to see if it would come on there. How you doing, Wayne? And I got some reports on the questioning, a little feedback from Trump and Jack Posobiec, and on my thumbnail I put 18 minutes or less and 40 days or more. And if you look at the thumbnail, I got a finger pointing right at Tim Walz, and we'll see if anybody gets what I'm trying to point out there in that picture. If you're watching the broadcast after the live stream, put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, which I will reveal once we get some folks in the stream. So anyway, I saw some preview questions from Dana Bash and a little press release or whatever put out by the creepos at CNN. How you doing, Melinda? How you doing, Debbie? And here they've had this person running for president, joyfully jumping on board with the happy coach from Minnesota for 40 plus days. And they got this big opportunity. And one of the questions was about Trump at the cemetery, Arlington National. Can you believe that? That's what I discussed last night. Part of what I discussed had me disgusted. And sure enough, I knew they were going to try to make hay with it. And yeah, that's what they toss at Kamala. Gloria, how you doing? Alan, Kim. Yeah, he's a freak. He's getting caught. He's sitting there looking like an idiot. And come to find out, his little setup where he was making tacos with Kamala, and he's a boring, dull, kind of dumb white guy is what he's standing there, with his eyebrows up and his mouth hanging open. I just make tacos. I don't use seasoning but pepper because I'm just a dumb white guy. And she, oh, that's okay, honey. We'll teach you how to spice things up, baby. Yeah. Well, we use tuna fish. Well, I use hamburger, and it's about all us stupid white guys know how to do. Then it turns out somebody finds an article where he won some kind of cooking contest, and all these fancy schmancy spices he's putting in whatever it was, his tacos or elephant ears or whatever he was making. And he was one of the winners, so it's all phony garbage. It's all trying to set a narrative. It's all trying to put people in their place and feed stereotypes and make Kamala look like one of those women, powerful women. Yes. So here we are. McDonald's puts out a bulletin. I guess that's corporate headquarters. Because, when a vice president says, I worked at McDonald's, I worked at the fry station, I know how to struggle. I was a little girl on a bus. Plus, I worked at McDonald's. Well, if you're smart at corporate, you're going to say, hey, that'd be a good recruitment tool. That would be really, something we could, hey, you start with us. You could find yourself running for president. Well, they go back in the records and she never worked for McDonald's. They can't find a daggone record of it. Some more BS from her. Phony lies. Hi, David. How you doing? Okay. Catch you later. Give me a thumbs up on the way out, boss. I appreciate it. And if you all think about it, give me a thumbs up. Helps the video to get around, knowing that views are being suppressed. Isn't that right, sissy? They're suppressing my views. That's okay. We'll keep on keeping on. So, did anybody notice what is the deal with my thumbnail? I got a finger pointing right at commie coach Tim the Happy Commie. That not a lot of people would notice, but some of you all might. So anyway, they also played. She went to a high school and gave a speech and was talking with her hands, kind of like, I was talking about that movie or TV, whatever it was, streaming show, The Acolyte, written, I believe, and directed or produced by Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant for Disney, Lucasfilms, I mean. And they were a bunch of lesbian space witches. And it went over like a lead balloon, but one of the things they were doing was the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. And when she was given at high school, you don't have to ask permission for anything. And when we band together, and with her hands going up in the air, flipping out, I could have spliced in there that last part with that witch going, putting her hands up in the air, the power of many. It's like just empty, foolish nonsense. And, these were high school kids. I mean, they got a lot to learn yet, but they're not stupid. And you're sitting there watching somebody talking to you like you're a sixth grader, and take some of the words in toto into a sentence, take the sentences, repeat them in your head, and say, what do I have? What information do I have? Nothing, zero, zip. A bunch of childish sloganeering, like somebody from the seventh grade trying to write a book. A philosophy book, foolishness. Hi, Ronald. How you doing? Lone Wolf, how you doing? So it was kind of hard to find anything about the interview. And this was supposed to be a big event. How come it's so hard to find anything about it? Because they don't want you to see it. Because it's pitiful performance. You look at it on the screen, she looks like she's, going to the principal's office or something, or talking to the principal about something she did wrong. Sitting there all shriveled up, and her neck pulled down between her shoulder blades, and eyebrows up, like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? And Wall's sitting there like, I don't know what he was sitting there like, oh, she got in trouble at school, I gotta come pick her up. It didn't look like a presidential administrative team to me. I didn't feel any commander-in-chief vibes. I didn't feel anything. It's just like, what in the world is this? So anyway, Paselbeck, he put up a post. He said she got a softball question and couldn't even handle that. Kamala Harris could not give one example of anything she would do on day one. Easiest layup question, and she had no answer. But she did say, I did see her say, my principles haven't changed. That's when people start putting out the memes. That's when people start putting out the videos about defunding the police. I shared a video where 5 years ago in 2019, there's a clip of her with fake Tapper at the time. Now he's supposedly a truce, and it's Jake Tapper, where she's calling for Jack Dorsey to take Trump, current president of the United States, off of Twitter. So, and on top of that, the migrants are not criminals. The illegal aliens are not criminals. Raising a hand for the free health care for illegals. Oh, your principles haven't changed? Defund the police, throw a bunch of money in migrants, keep attacking Donald Trump and his supporters. Oh, okay. Well, you're doing real good. Keep it up. So Trump did get a truth out to let you know how things were going. I look so forward to debating Comrade Kamala. He said comrade twice. Comrade Kamala Harris, and exposing her for the fraud she is. Harris has changed every one of her long-held positions on everything. America will never allow an election weaponizing Marxist to be president of the United States. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch, in particularly, the last 10 minutes of the speech Trump gave before he showed up for the town hall. Wow. The gloves are off. On top of the memes I was telling you about that he put on Truth Social that were straight out of the 17th letter. I almost use that for my thumbnail. AP reported on it. CNN reported on it. And what did he do in the last 10 minutes of the speech? He used some words I'm not allowed to use on this platform, but he said Joe and Kamala might as well have taken a GUN to the soldiers we lost at Abbey Gate, that they red-rummed those soldiers. That's what he said. He was upset in a controlled manner, but he pulled no punches due to their incompetence, whether willful or not. They're to blame for that loss of specific loss of military lives. Hi, Holofix, how you doing? Ravens, how you doing? RFK speech, yeah. Boy, there's a lot of stuff we got to keep up with. We've had, but I do want to tell you, you get a chance, really watch that where Trump, he did a verbal indictment of them. And he used the word red rum backwards that I can't use here. And anyway, so we've got stuff coming out by RFK. We got stuff coming out by Tulsi Gabbard. We got stuff coming out by Shanahan, the vice president nominee. We got statements coming out and in interviews by Jill Stein, where she's talking about, she didn't use the term criminal, but you can sure enough infer that where they were withholding the money for her campaign that they already qualified for, purposefully withholding it, and inserting moles and saboteurs into their campaigns. Cornel West is coming out with the same thing. I mean, these are traditionally Democrat liberal position people that are coming out saying that the The Democrat Party has been poisoned. Okay, they've been poisoned, and there's criminality going on, not just dirty politics. So it's got to be hitting home with some of these people. Yeah, those comms dropping off. Did anybody, let me check the chats. Jet lag, how you doing? See if anybody figured out why I put that finger pointing on my thumbnail. Let's see. Did anybody get it? Let me see. I'm sorry. I wasn't checking. I should not ask a question and then forget to check the chats. And I see no one has ventured a guess at what I'm pointing at in my thumbnail. So maybe somebody will get it. Dun 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 dun. So that's the question. The Mountain Man quiz. What am I pointing at in my thumbnail? So we find out Walsh couldn't even tell the truth about his tacos. Okay. Kamala didn't work at McDonald's. And in 40 days, that's the kind of vapid crap you got out of them. That's supposed to be information, making fun of Trump, making fun of Vance, calling him weird, criticizing Donald Trump, making fun of MAGA, blah, 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 denying border czar. And what they did disclose were just flat out lies, nonsense. And so we get the big interview. And the word is that they cut it short. I guess Tim Walsh and Kamala cut it short, or their staff said, that's enough. Because it wasn't supposed to be just 18 minutes. And then we hear on top of that they're going to take out some of the 18 minutes and not release a transcript. What is it with these Democrats? And they didn't want to release Joe's transcript from his interview with Robert Hur. They don't want to release transcript of this interview. They're running for president and vice president. We have a right to know. Holofix said, Raven's Wings got it. Purple tie. I was going to ask Holofix, what about his tie? And purple tie, because we've heard it from a number of people over the years, most notably Kash Patel, that this is known to be a fact. It is a color revolution, and they do color revolutions all around the world in different countries. And this particular color revolution, the color is purple. I pointed out with Kamala wearing her purple outfit when she got sworn in as vice president. I pointed out Michael Sussman when he was the first one to be acquitted under a Durham indictment. He was wearing a purple tie. Then you have Comrade Tim showing up holding Kamala's hand, and he's got his purple tie on. So symbolism will be their downfall. Okay, but we're pointing out, who the heck wears a purple tie? What is it with these Democrats, Sussman and Walsh? Okay. You mix that in with the knowledge that he went to China 30 times, and most of the times he was taking American kids over there to indoctrinate them. Boy, my father he'd have had a fit over this. Remember Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino? He said, we used to stack you guys up like sandbags. So now here, the commies, right? So here he is going over there playing footsie with them and taking kids over there. Getting married on the anniversary of Tiananmen Square massacre. What she's opening the window so she can smell the burning tire. You know, we know this stuff and it frustrates us, but hamster wheel people don't know it because they don't have time. They're not news junkies like we are, and they don't have an opportunity to get much more information than what the propaganda arm of the media puts out, which every one of them is compromised in some way or another. Yeah, it's coming. Nancy's, putting out those videos, where she's prattling and babbling, and these news reporters not reporting on this stuff. If Trump misspeaks or mispronounces a word, that's all you hear about all night, day after day, over and over. But then you have people like Nancy Pelosi saying it was my fault. It was my responsibility for the National Guard. They don't report it. So we're going to be making a list, checking it twice. We did get a definition. How many times have we heard President Trump say misinformation and disinformation? There is a very fine difference between the two. All right. He said, I don't have time to get into it right now. But there's a difference between how many times have you heard him say that? Well, they have that new guy on CNN. I forget his name. I got it somewhere in my studio and in some of the stories I'm going to talk about. But he gave the definition. That's right. Zuckerberg is another one that's puked out some pretty big news. Just admitted that the intelligence, air quotes, agencies rigged the election through misinformation and disinformation and censorship, defrauding the American people. Now he's got his own problem. That is a serious issue that could end up with him doing prison time, and that is the monies that he gave and the drop boxes that he set up. That was directly interfering, violation of campaign laws, direct violation. And Trump said he was a criminal and he should be in jail. Zuckerbucks. So, is this him offering up some stuff to kind of soften the blow? Of course it is. So anyway, misinformation and disinformation. I'll just go over real quick. Misinformation is if I tell you it's raining where I am, and I'm wrong. I thought it was. I opened the door up and it's not raining. That's like a mistake information. So you can see where they can give anchors and little Dana Bash wannabes information that's incorrect. They're not aware that it's incorrect, but they spread it. That's called misinformation. Disinformation, and there's no such thing as dad information. Disinformation is when you know it's wrong and you're telling it to achieve some nefarious goal. Okay? And that's the difference. That's the difference. And they're playing in both. They get caught in the disinformation. They might try to play it off like, well, I didn't know. I was misinformation. That goes to mens res, actus reus. We've been over that in the past for 2 years. We've been going over stuff like that. So again, tonight, Trump warned about migrant crime. Said we're going to see it getting very bad. Wait a minute. We only got, like Kamala said, 68 days to the election. You know, what is this going to be, a big spike where people all over the country are feeling it? Or is this thing going to get drug out for half a year where we don't get immediate control of the situation and certain people get activated? A lot of us know that the majority of people crossing that border, the majority of people getting flown around to different towns and cities are military age men. Oh, that's a conspiracy. Really? Really? Well, Trump put out a post on Truth, and a lot of you have seen the videos. He said, "I told you so." It was videos of these armed gangs going around apartment complexes and taking them over. Take the manager and toss him out on his ear, or her, or just tell him, you could say, but you better give us all the money. We're running this place now. And they got it on video. There was I saw the interview with one of the town officials. They said there were 3 apartment complexes with out-of-state owners, and 2 of the 3 had been, for all intents and purposes, taken over by gangs in that exact same scenario. They had some character running around named Cookie Monster. Well, I heard today that he's been rearrested, and he's apparently gotten so notorious, and these officials are so embarrassed by their poor performance and keeping him in jail that they said, well, we better make sure he doesn't get out this time, this Cookie Monster character. But when is somebody going to give the nod for some coordinated actions? This town in Colorado where they were taking over that, hi Tracy, how you doing? A Google account, how you doing? Where they were taking over these apartment complexes. That's right, Debbie, no deals. No deals. They said that Denver, Colorado, being a sanctuary city, these are almost the majority are Venezuelan gangs. Okay, 40,000 people have been shuttled in to Denver, Colorado, and the surrounding towns in the past 2 years. That is a average of 20,000, of course, per year. Remember when I was talking about the Ukryzl incursion into Kursk, Russia, right? They started off with 1,000 men. 1,000 men and probably 30 different tanks and armored vehicles and a multitude of jeeps and trucks. And 1,000 men. Man, it was an undefended area, nothing but local law enforcement, and they penetrated deep into Russian territory. Now they're holding off the Russian army in the Kursk area with between 10 10 and 20,000 people, 10 and 20,000 soldiers. Russia. So here in one state, we've got 40,000. One state. Trump estimates 20 million. Oh, of course, I know there's kids and there's women and children. Yeah, but it's a small percentage. And I know there's some old people in this and that. But what if 10% are trained members of cells and are going to take orders at the right time? That's 2 million people at 10%. And easy enough to do in your head to go down from there. 5% would be 1 million. 2.5% would be 500,000. How many did I say are in Russia right now, giving them a fit? 10 and 20,000. Yeah, Tren de Aragua. Yeah, get your pew-pew, yeah. A lot of places and cities don't. Yeah, retail theft and drug dealing, they're going to clean out. They're going to take advantage of overwhelming law enforcement, especially in these towns that have put the $950 limit. They're going to economically cripple. They're going to demoralize. They're going to build their own wealth before they, hey, this is the calm before the storm. Grab what you can grab. Can you imagine being penniless, wanted fugitive that gets the chance to come to America where anything goes and they give you EBT cards, housing vouchers, cash? Plus you live in a city where they'll let you steal $950 and nobody does a damn thing. What do they think is going to happen? And I tell you, I hear y'all. I hear what you're saying, you about your pew-pews. But I can tell you what, if you're by yourself in the house and you got half a dozen at the front door, dark of night, God knows how many at the back door, all it takes is a couple of bottles of gasoline and a rag. But I tell you what, that footage where it shows all those characters running in that apartment building, banging on the door, that's a good example to show Congress. This is why you need more than a 10 bullet clip. This is why you need 30. This is why you need banana clips. Because if you're by yourself in that situation, Joe said, get a shotgun. Yeah. 2 barrels against 7 or 8 armed people, you're finished. But anyway, well, it's like I'm saying, you can't be on both ends of the house, a Google account. You can't be at both ends of the house at one time. And you got to sleep. I mean, it's one thing to have the the movie script notion of how you would behave and how you would physically react and your capabilities, but reality is different, much different. So we still have a situation with Joe. What if he steps down? All they got to do is make this election believable. That's why we're seeing these polls that Trump isn't getting, but at the most 50%. Then you got some polls showing him with 47, Kamala with 50, saying tie. Oh, it's not. It's all lies. It's all push polls. But all they need is to make it believable. Kamala, in their media drumbeat, is the winner. Trump is trying to steal the election again, stirring up people. He's a danger. How many times I hear MSNBC people call it a deadly serious election? Joe could say, well, you know, she's going to be sworn in at any time soon anyway. I'll just go ahead and step down. Nixon resigned, Spiro Agnew was gone, and Gerald Ford became president. No election, no nothing. But this way you could do it by saying, well, it's what the people wanted, and further solidify their position. I'm just saying, you know, what's a scenario that in the next 68 days, what Trump is warning about is going to come true? And what he's warning about is rampant migrant crime, gangs. They tried to take over a couple of school buses. Now, you could say, oh, well, maybe they were thinking it was a transport to work or something, but I don't think so. I wouldn't feel that way if I had a kid on that bus. I wouldn't care less what they thought it was. Just looking through the chats, yeah. Timeout? Him said, oh, he's reloading. He's defending his house. Got a Hollywood movie going on. Mental Hollywood movie. Anyway, so until we have a fair media, this country can never heal. Can never, we've made big strides in unity in just the last week. Big strides, like I said, Tulsi Gabbard, Kennedy, Shanahan, Stein, West. Far better strides than I thought we'd make. But there's still a big gulf that we can't close that gulf with this media behaving the way it's doing. Hi, Pappy, how you doing? But I don't think that Dana Bash gave Kamala the questions. I think they gave him overall themes, but they didn't give direct questions. I think the way Jake Tapper and Dana Bash behaved during the debate with Biden is telling. They could have been aggressive. They could have been nasty to Trump. It would have made us mad, and it would have thrilled the Trump haters. And they could have got away with it. But they didn't do it. And it destroyed Biden's image. It destroyed his campaign. His political career is over. Are they on board? I think yes. I think this interview is going to be perceived as so weak and vapid that we're going to see it get very difficult for them to justify the polls they're putting out. It's going to be very difficult for them to justify a claim of a win. Well, the 10th is right around the corner with the debate. What did we hear about that? Well, that Kamala wanted to sit down. Kamala wanted to have notes. Kamala wants, Kamala wants, Kamala wants. Trump saying, let's just debate. You know, would you do it on the 4th? We'll do it on 10th. We'll do it on the whatever it was, 18th or whatever. Well, 3. I'll give you 3. Well, the way that has shaken out is Trump put out a truth saying it's all settled, done. We're going to debate on the 10th. The chair will be there for you on the 4th with Fox News if you want to show up. Okay? But if you don't, we're going on the 10th. Same rules we agreed to prior with Joe. That's it. That's all. See you on the 10th. Well, news agencies have picked that ball up and they didn't run with it, but at least they're carrying it. But the truth is, Kamala's camp hadn't formally agreed to it. But they don't have a choice. Somebody's leaking stuff. I was joking around last night that Nancy was leaking. Well, somebody else is leaking at ABC. They let out an email where ABC said, no, we're not changing anything. No notes, no audience, standing up. The mics get muted just like with Joe. What's Kamala and company going to do? They got to show up. The few times a reporter was able to corner Kamala, that's all she was prattling about. I'll see him on the 10th if he's got the guts. All right, well, here we go on the 10th. Well, why did ABC all of a sudden stand their ground? They didn't even angle for cutting the mics on, leaving mics on, which Kamala wanted. As everybody's been saying, she wanted to have her girl boss moment. Excuse me, I'm speaking. Probably because they had an agreement with the Trump campaign, and if they changed it, they could get their eyeballs sued out of their head by the Trump campaign, not Trump himself. Probably by Trump himself too, but the campaign would. In other words, a deal's a deal. Be lucky we're letting you get away with swapping your candidate out. And by the way, you didn't really get away with that yet. Because the DNC may have to answer for that. Like Trump has said every speech, we spent a ton of money, hundreds of millions, building a campaign around Joe Biden. And then they pull a switcheroo. There's an old rule in business that a thing called bait and switch is illegal. Bait and switch, been illegal for decades and decades and decades. You don't want to especially in real estate, you don't want to be found to be guilty of bait and switch. Well, that's what they did. So anyway, they definitely had a lawsuit cooking if they were to try to force Trump to do something other than what was previously agreed to. Kamala had ensconced herself so strongly into the 10th, and I'll think about one after the 10th. We'll see how it goes. Well, what about the 4th? No, I don't trust Fox News. Okay, so you're stuck with the 10th. ABC's fine with the rules. Donald Trump's fine with the rules. See you there. No, you can't bring Tim along to sit there and look like a basset hound sitting next to you, like a Labrador that trying to behave. And I think she's terrified. Can you imagine, especially after what I talked about earlier in the broadcast, during the last 10 minutes of the speech today, he came out in no uncertain terms, and he said that we're dealing with communists, okay? We're dealing with Marxists, fascists, that this election is about communism or freedom, period. And when he said, as far as he's concerned, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are responsible personally for the loss of life at Abbey Gate. That they may have, I'm paraphrasing, but he said it stronger than I'm saying it now. What they did was the equivalent of taking out a pew-pew and doing it themselves. They're responsible for the red rum. And for those new to my broadcasts, you know what that spells backwards. The gloves were off. And I think subconsciously, as a person, never mind her campaign, never mind her puppet masters, but her as an individual, she's going to wet her pants, psychologically speaking. And she's going to hope that the Donald Trump of the last 10 minutes of his speech doesn't show up that night. That it's the Donald Trump who accepted the nomination with the bandage on his ear, the peaceful tone. She's going to hope that's the one that shows up, not the one thinking about what happened with the withdrawal from Afghanistan and more stuff we don't even know about. He brought up the graveyard visit to Arlington National Cemetery. And he said, can you believe that they focused on this? Everything that I'm talking about, all the migrant crime, all the hundreds of millions of dollars being wasted, the destruction of the economy, the threat of World War III, nuclear bombs going off, and that's what they decide to do. I get shot during a rally, and that's what they decide to focus on. When the family invited me, and I'm going to get something straight right now. You can take pictures, but you can't do it for commercial purposes. You can do it for your family mementos. You can do it to memorialize your loved ones. You can record
pastor's ceremony during the burial to save for posterity. There's no hard and fast, no, you can't. But somebody took it upon themselves to try to disrupt that event. And the media ran with it, that Trump was desecrating the cemetery. An exaggeration, a libelous exaggeration. So, Trump got himself worked up. And like I said, the last 10 minutes of his speech, he laid it out there, took the gloves off. And they thought that him putting those memes out that I talked about last night was something. They felt threatened by those memes. Let's see if they repeat what Trump said. What Trump said about the level of responsibility they have. I don't think they'll do it. I think they're cowards. I know they're cowards. I don't think they are. It was rumored that the generals told JB the outcome if he pulled out of Afghanistan. And JB responded, which demon is inside of him? He responded, do it. Oh, yeah, that's right, Lone Wolf. You can take pictures there. The rules is to preserve the dignity of the graves, and not have somebody come in there trying to do a movie, running around and hide behind tombstones or whatever, or somebody do an ad for God knows what. I mean, you'd be surprised if you don't have something written down what people will try to do to get away with stuff. There's a rule that the Supreme Court building cannot be used for advertisements. I shouldn't tell this story, but I had a friend who used the Supreme Court as a backdrop about 20 years ago. And without putting too much out there, I told him you should not have done that. And he got a letter and had to take his ads down. So I'll leave it at that. So, of course, you can photograph the Supreme Court. Of course, you can record interviews with the press in front of the Supreme Court. Whatever. But you can't pose in front of the Supreme Court and use it as an ad for your business. There's a difference. So they gave more coverage to that Arlington thing with Trump than they did his assassination. And we're finding out so much stuff that the average American is going to say, the hell with the mainstream media. I want to know. What I put in the thumbnail yesterday, subconsciously, not my thumbnail in particular, but the chain of events, Kennedy being killed, Trump running for office, what they're doing to Trump, and RFK stepping in. And with the history of his father and that JFK was his uncle, people are going to start linking these nefarious actions, criminal behavior, with entrenched government apparatus. Okay? Actually, Lone Wolf, he found a law from the 1800s that said if you pulled a monument down, you got a $10,000 fine. He said it had a lot of dust on it. He said, I knocked the dust off that law. And I said, he wrote an executive order demanding enforcement of that 100-year-old law, or 100-plus-year-old law. Biden could have canceled the executive order demanding enforcement of the law, but he can't cancel the law. Biden doesn't have that authority. The commander-in-chief, the chief law enforcement officer of the United States is the president, and he can put his focus on enforcement a little bit stronger at his, as is his want. Okay, it's a part of executive privilege, and it was Trump's desire to see that law enforced. Yeah, he brought it up during a speech where a couple of times last year and then a couple of speeches ago. Anyway, what do they say? What we're covering about Kamala's interview. Did anybody here in the chats get to see the interview? Did you see any? If you did see the interview, did you see anything that was going to help Kamala or make her look at what she is? A vapid, pathetic little commie. CNN Politics, what we're covering about the interview. Shift in positions. Kamala Harris offered her most expansive explanation to date on why she's changed her positions on fracking and immigration, telling CNN on Thursdays her values haven't shifted, but that her time as vice president provided new perspective on some of the country's most pressing issues. What kind of gobbledygook is that? Trump's race jab. As I said, here's somebody for 40 days nobody's been able to talk to. Trump's race jab. Harris said she would name a Republican to serve in her cabinet if elected, and she was also brushed off Donald Trump's questioning of her racial identity. The full interview with Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, their first as the Democratic ticket, will air tonight at 9 p.m. You'll be able to watch, whatever, in the video player above this page. Nobody was able to get to watch where they could stream it on YouTube. But she's Indian. Indians are considered Caucasian, along with Arabs. Listen to Christian Prince. He'll explain to you. They're white. The Caucasus Mountains, Caucasian. That's the third thing they're going to discuss. We really want to know where you stand on stuff. You want to be president of the United States. You've been the vice president for 3.5 years. We got 20 million illegals. This is real important. Now, what's my next question going to be? Arlington controversy. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army issued a stark rebuke of the Trump campaign over an incident that happened in Arlington National Cemetery on Monday. It said participants were, quote, made aware of federal laws regarding political activity and, quote, abruptly pushed aside a cemetery employee. I believe that's what Trump read that made him so angry, and rightfully so. Kim says she values her time. That's right. Yeah, pre-recorded. They tried to pass it on live. It was edited. But they don't have any positions other than to try to trash Trump. Try to trash Trump. And what are they cutting out? What are they editing out? They're never going to let us know. Or maybe we'll get to see it. I don't know. Well, they've already aired it, sissy. They've already did the editing and aired it. Who's the Republican she's going to put in her cabinet? Mitt Romney? Adam Kinzinger? Some stinking never Trumper? Well, I tell you what, relatively speaking, it's been a quiet week. Wouldn't you agree? Big deal. They finally got Kamala to give her an interview. Trump's doing what he's always been doing, going around speaking with people, unscripted, off the cuff. He gave an interview before he gave the speech earlier today. An unplanned interview. That's why he was late for his speech. No notes, no earthly idea what the questions would be. And then he gives an hour and a half long speech, or an hour this time. Then he goes on a town hall in one day. So last Friday, it was Bobby Kennedy, the fallout from Bobby Kennedy endorsing Trump. And then the others followed, Tulsi and the others I mentioned. Is there going to be something happen this Friday to go into the weekend and chew on for the average American to consider after the hectic work week? Most people, Monday to Friday. And that was the big thing when, during the Bush election cycles and Clinton election cycles and Obama, everybody tried to get a story out on a Friday to have the last word for the week. So what's going to be this time? Maybe nothing? I don't know. Tomorrow, maybe we'll find out. Is Kamala going to make it to go on the 10th? I think she's scared. Trump's always on his A game. And he's very unhappy. And he's got her number. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. And he's not going to be vicious or mean. It's kind of like you're going to the principal's office, you're going to get the business. That's what she feels like. She's going to get the business at the principal's office. So is she going to even make it? Hi, Angela. That's okay. You'll catch up. So what could overshadow? What could get her out of the debate? ABC, they didn't take any chances of Trump backing out. I think CNN got this interview because they probably contacted the campaign very upset. Harris campaign, Kamala campaign. How come you won't do a debate on our program? ABC's getting one. That's very competitive. That's a lot of money. I'll give you an exclusive interview, my first interview. Oh, okay. Since we got a debate, we'll do the interview. Everybody get excited. Everybody tune in. Our ratings will go up. Okay, we'll do that. ABC's like, well, we can't lose this interview because we'll have nothing. A lot of money in that debate. So the odd one out is Fox, because it was Fox, ABC, and CNN for 3 debates. Fox got left out. ABC got to debate. CNN settled for the interview. But Fox is going to get the town hall with Trump and a spot for Kamala if she wants to show up, if she's got the guts. 4 days, 5 days. Hi, Dreamer. I was just going to bring up Jimmy Carter. I guess you're reading my mind. Hi, Bill. I was thinking, what if there was a state funeral? A state funeral. And I see what you're saying there, Ravens. It doesn't matter if they can take him out of the icebox. And oh gosh, he passed away today. We got to go to a state funeral. We're not going to do debate on the same day. We're going to do a state funeral. Oh well, the debate's over. It might be time to play the Carter card. So, I don't want anybody to, makes me feel old when people like Carter and Nixon and Ford and all them go. But considering what they've done to get out of stuff in the past, that would be the most agreeable. If they got to cause a distraction, that would be the less harm. I wouldn't want to see planes again hitting buildings, because they'll do whatever it takes. And that's what's got me, got us all concerned. Because like I said, no matter what happens, if Trump wins 75, 80% of the vote, they're going to pull something. They're not going to leave. And what Trump has said many times, things have got to get to a point where people will be in agreement when we do what needs to be done. They can read into that what they will. But the great majority of the population will agree that what gets done needs to be done. And some people could say, well, that's laying off a bunch of people, or no, I think we're beyond that. That's not biblical. firing a bunch of people, or taking Hillary to jail with Mitt Romney. That's not biblical. So anyway, imagine to yourself big disappointments, but expected disappointments. You can bet they're coming, and don't let it get the better of you. Like I was trying to communicate to one of our listeners that left a comment where they were despondent. Don't be despondent. What did Trump say today during the town hall? I thought it was so neat that he brought it up when he was talking to Tulsi Gabbard. Ha ha, Gary, how you doing? That's right, stay grounded. Did you all catch what Trump said? And it changed the mood of the crowd. And I think it needs to be repeated, and I don't know who else caught it. I mean, I don't want to be the only air quotes creator out here bringing it up. Let's see if anybody caught what Trump said. That I think we're going to hear more of it coming from him, because we got to have some balance. What we're going to see is a deep state temper tantrum. A deep state temper tantrum. Now, how much damage they'll try to cause, or what kind of... Have you ever seen a little kid get in trouble and try to lie out of it? And it's so ridiculous, you almost want to laugh at them. Or if they try to get physical with you, they're so frustrated and angry. Kind of look at it that way. But what Trump said was, I look forward to it every day. He said, I love getting up in the morning and I look forward to what's going to happen. I look forward to saving America. Did you all catch him say that? That's the way we got to look at it. And I don't want to bring up things or pick on anybody. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm talking about how people have expressed in the past their frustration, expressed that they are losing hope or running out of energy. And I've said it in the past. Embrace these times. This is one of the rarest moments in human history, and we have the blessing to be part of it. Embrace it. Rejoice. Just like Trump said today, I get up every morning and I'm so looking forward to saving this country. Hi, Lewis. How you doing? Lewis is back in the comments. Back in the video. We are at the 1:14 mark. 1 hour and 14 minutes, Lewis. When you get here, we'll be here when you get here. So, one thing real quick, Hunter Biden is going to be suing Fox News. Did you all hear that? Of course, it's going to be a ton of money they're going to be shooting for, because Fox News bent the knee and paid $750 million, 700 and some million, to Dumb Onion without really putting up a fight. But are they setting a precedent? Hunter Biden is suing Fox News that they're using misinformation and private pictures that they have no right to use, blah, blah, blah. Is this kind of like a Alex Jones situation where they set the bar for punitive damages to be like $1 billion? Are they setting the bar like Steve Bannon going to jail, Peter Navarro going to jail? Is that going to come into play where they subpoenaed this founder of Legacy company that employs as president of Legacy Mercan's daughter? They're subpoenaing all their communications. And if they don't respond, they can go sit in jail like Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon. So is Hunter suing Fox News going to set the table for others to sue MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, namely Trump, Rudy Giuliani? Hey, what are they going to say? Oh, Rudy got charged with this. Trump got charged with that. Well, Hunter Biden, look what he's been charged with. He's suing. That's right. We have been chosen. Super indictments. Who got a super indictment? Jack Smith's latest indictments of Trump are weak sauce. Weak. They're laughable, and there's no way they can be heard before the election. But that doesn't mean they won't try to jam up Trump with them before January 20th. So anyway, there's a lot of pieces on the chessboard, a lot of moves and counter moves. And I have to keep in mind that it was no accident Hunter left that laptop behind. It's been a centerpiece for 4 years, solid 4 years, more than that, since the first Biden-Trump debate. Hi, Shine. How you doing? It's been the centerpiece, and the laptop drew out all the roaches. I mean, it got 51 of those intelligence clowns to sign a fraudulent document against Trump. For starters, it got flushed out Zuckerbucks out of Facebook. The laptop did all that. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. So let me see what we've got in here. The polls are showing that Kamala got 0 of a bounce after her convention. And normally it's at least a 4-point bounce. I've been watching these conventions, like I said, for half a century. Half a century. And they get some kind of a bounce. She got nothing. Trump is back up around 4 or 5 points as far as chances of him winning. All right, Kim, good night. Thanks for being with us. So Trump is in the lead. He's in the lead in Georgia, 50% to 47, Nevada 50% to 47, Arizona 50% to 48. But they say, and this shows you how ridiculous it is. They say he's behind in North Carolina by 1 point. That's ridiculous. He won North Carolina 2 times. He's way stronger than he was in 20 and way stronger than he was in 16. So we know those polls are garbage, but doctored polls still showing Trump in the lead. Here is MSNBC put up this scary quote and quote threatening. Trump reposts vengeful memes after new indictment. Vengeful memes. I went over some of those. Oh, and one of the clowns on CNN had to apologize because he made fun of Robert Kennedy's voice the other night. We talked about that. How serious it was that the accusations were coming out about putting saboteurs in the campaign, bending the rules to try to kick him off the ballot, and then bending the rules to try to keep him on the ballot. All these serious issues. And what does this clown do on CNN? Resorts to making fun of Bobby Kennedy's voice. Well, at least he was forced to apologize for that. Disgraceful. Said I was totally out of bounds for mocking our RFK Jr.'s voice. Damn right you were, creep. The Supreme Court rejected the Biden-Harris administration, another attempt to take your money, my money, and pay off somebody else's student loans to a bunch of communist universities. And they just put out a 1-page thing. The application to vacate injunction presented to Justice Kavanaugh and by him referred to the court is denied. Goodbye. No noted dissents. No reinstatement of new student loan relief plan. Go somewhere. So anyway, they're going after Governor Kemp, and we know they're going after Ken Paxton. I had my news feed today. 3 different articles come about where they're questioning Kemp about his so-called turnaround on Trump, supporting Trump now. Oh, that's right, plausibly. So they can plausibly do it. Angela, hi, Andrew. How you doing? I am grim. I sound like a child. Are you talking to me? I know you ain't talking to me. But welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Sometimes chats mean something else besides what you first see. So anyway, Trump nationally is 52.4% to Harris is 47.3%. I don't believe that, but that she's that close. CNN won't release Harris interview transcript at request of the campaign. Kamala Harris insisted that Tim Walsh join her for a first interview with Dana Bash. Reports suggest the interview did not go well and was cut short, lasting only 18 minutes. CNN plans to do a shortened version of the interview and will not release the full transcript. Boy, that's got to make your antennas go up. I mean, unless you are nothing but a complete sheep. You really don't give a damn who runs this country. You just can't stand Trump. And that's got to be fading. I mean, what does everybody want to act like little Thomas Crooks is running around? Trump War Room. That's Bannon's crowd. Put out a thing where they quoted Kamala saying, "My values have not changed." Kamala Harris confirms she's still a radical leftist who supports decriminalizing illegal immigration, the job-killing Green New Deal, and eliminating private health insurance, banning fracking, and so much more. So, yeah, we learned what we already knew. Now, how about the rest of America learns it? This so-called 47%. So, my question is for you all to think about, is there going to be a Friday event that's going to be designed to linger through the weekend, just like the Bobby Kennedy announcement? But it could be done by the Democrats. That's one question. Tomorrow's Friday, we'll find out. I should be going live tomorrow. My next question is Kamala going to make it to the 10th? Is she going to show up? And then something for down the road. Is Joe going to do whatever pardons he needs to do and then step down before the end of his term to let Kamala grab the steering wheel? There's three questions. Are we going to be seeing some kind of story on a Thursday or Friday that's going to set the tone for the weekend, for people to cogitate over the weekends? Is Kamala going to make it to the debate? Is Joe going to step down? Now, we can sit and worry and wonder what event they're going to stage. Was the assassination attempt the Black Swan event? I don't believe so. I believe there's going to be a Black Swan event. Keep your head on a swivel. Be prepared. Don't be disappointed. Be not afraid. And be like Trump said, getting up in the morning, looking forward to saving this country, enjoying the fact that you're able to participate in saving this country. Okay, folks? And if you hadn't given me a thumbs up, think about doing that for me. And if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Do all the other good stuff like share, subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I go live. And as always, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And we will see what tomorrow brings. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I am not down in the mouth, okay? I have been pulling my hair out of my head going, what is wrong? But patience bears fruit. All right, folks. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.